Welcome back, everyone. Another classic conversation with the one and only Sean Dillon. Welcome, Sean. Good to have you here in Tamworth.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. They say that if you want something done, you ask a busy man. You've got a bit on at the moment between ACA Vice President, Mayor of Barcaldine. You're on a board for the Queensland Government in horse biosecurity and animal welfare. You're a cattleman. You're a husband, a father.
Yep.
Few irons in the fire. How do you keep it all going?
Oh, good crew at home. Good crew at home helps. It's a lot of those interests cross over a bit. You know, the reason I'm in local government politics is I wanted to make things better for people on the land. You know, we need better road network. We need people to stand up and recognise agriculture as one of the most important mainstays of our economy, and I think that gets overlooked at times, certainly by certain local governments in Queensland. So I wanted to really hammer home how important that is, and obviously being a beef producer and love of horses and cattle and that sort of stuff is a big help to that. And then those advisory groups like the Queensland Government need from time to time, you know, it's important to keep government up to speed with what's happening in the industry. And yeah, well, the ACA Vice President, that's a bit of a long-running issue. I've been there for a long time, but look, love every minute of it. And we've got a really good team there too that have had since way before I was involved and will supersede my involvement as well. But it's great to be able to put a little bit back in and be able to offer something to someone somewhere along the line.
Absolutely. Obviously, giving back is something that's part of your personality, Sean. Is that something that is a learnt skill over time, or do you think that there was someone or something early on that sort of triggered that?
Our family were very important. Mum and Dad. Dad's no longer with us, but Mum the same. You know, big contributors to the community, and especially through camp drafting, donating cattle and spending weeks of the year mustering and walking them to town. But I think when you live out of town, you sort of, whether it's fighting a fire or carting water in a drought or you know, flood fencing in a good time. You depend on your people, neighbours and friends and that to help each other through, and you get exposed to it. And I think the more we set the example, the easier it is for our kids and others around us to want to follow. So it's not hard to put back. Yes, it takes a bit of time and it's easier probably for some people not to, but it's just come second nature to a lot of people in the bush. I don't think I'm too unique in that respect. I might have a few fancy titles, but I don't think it's too different to what a lot of the people that enjoy Tamworth every year here would be doing in a different way with a different hat on, I guess.
It's definitely part of that regional community fibre, I guess, isn't it? Banding together and it's good to come here, I guess, and see a lot of those people that you don't get to catch up with perhaps throughout the year.
Oh, terrific. From all over Australia and different walks of life. You know, it's great to see people like Peter Connor and those that we don't necessarily see in central Queensland, but terrific camp drafters and from a different association, but we're all doing exactly the same thing out here, you know, and you're right about that fraternity. It's in the horse game here. I remember during the big floods in 2019, it all kicked off while we were all right here, and a number of people were being affected at home, and the amount of people that weren't at this event that left to go and help before people from here could get home, you know, it's the strength and the fraternity that is the horse industry, especially the camp drafting horse industry, is it's pretty special. And yeah, you don't see too many people who are down on their luck that someone aren't knocking on their door or on the phone, or yeah, I think we're pretty fortunate to have what we do, really.
There's no surprise that I guess camp drafting is such a thriving and growing community. When you've got a basis like that, it's definitely a part of the world that everyone wants to be involved in.
Yeah, it is. It's really attractive, and that's its biggest challenge, is how attractive it's made itself through that. But I think there's enough innovation coming through in the way runs are being restricted and to try and keep everybody in. And obviously we don't like seeing too many days tacked onto already busy weekends and weeks, but you know, there's not too many 2-day shows left. We turn up most places for 3, and we come to really special places like here in Warwick, and we're there for a week. So, you know, that's, people build their life around Warwick or Tamworth being a holiday week, or they book their holidays 12 months in advance. So it certainly is ingrained in their way of life and indeed in mine too. So
this is your holiday week.
Yeah. The phone doesn't stop, but I am away from home. So yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So you and Sarah have come down, Sean. You've got some pretty good horsepower on that truck. You've got open runs and one that you've brought back to the Classic. Can you tell us a bit about what you're riding this week?
Yeah, I've got a Conman filly out of we bought her from Willinga Park through the sale here 2 years ago. Out of an Acres mare that Brett Welsh drafts, All-Star Famous Acres, and yeah, she's really cool. I love her. I think we'll see what the cow does here and how we react to that. She hasn't had a lot of showings, but she's placed in 4 futurities this year from probably 6 starts. So she's a mare that I've got a lot of hope for. I think she may not be tomorrow's champion, but she'll definitely be because I'm not going to ask her to be. I think she'll be around forever. And yeah, we've been really happy. We've got two Conman fillies here between us, both to draft, and they're crackers. We love them.
Very good. So a battle of the Dillons, but also a battle for the big win, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. And look, we're obviously, even though it's on holidays, we're definitely here to compete. And we have a 1 run each in the Open and brought 1 back. But it's this year's really exciting for us because our oldest son Ryan's competing in the Young Guns for the first time. So yeah, that's pretty cool for him to be. It's his first shot at Tamworth, first time here even, so as a juvenile. So yeah, we're really excited, and hopefully he can have a good couple of runs when the Young Guns are on as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sean, you were the classic judge here last year.
Year before now.
Sorry,
yeah,
21.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah. Time gets away from us all.
I'm not up with it yet. 2021 classic judge. What's it like to come here from that perspective, I suppose, after being involved so long?
Oh, look, it was a big honour. It's the it's the biggest futurity draft in the country. And I remember talking to Brett. It was actually at Tamworth that year, to Brett Welsh, and saying that the approach I was bringing was different as a judge to when I judge an open draft, where you generally see everything ramp up and get bigger. We've got a lot of young horses here, some of whom are literally stepping into an arena for the first time. So to see the calibre of training and breeding, firstly, and then training that's going into these horses is mesmerising. It shows where the industry's evolved to. We used to be really nervous about too much pressure on a young horse, and obviously a lot still are. But to see horses, I've seen horses line up here in this open draft that originated out here as 2-year-olds that have been competed on at least once, if not twice, through the Classic, and are now winning and placing in multiple open drafts. So this concept's working, and it's exposing us to that, genetic base, but also the trainability of horses. And that's why, we don't bulk buy horses, our family, from here, but we certainly use here as a guide for where we need to be breeding horses. And when we are buying horses through here, we've got such a plethora of breeding to come down and pick from. And it's certainly the place, I think, the premier destination for performance horse bloodlines in this country, for sure. I think the others are doing a really good job of trying to keep up, but to my way of thinking, what we see here is the elite. And people gear their whole breeding program around what this market has guided us over the last decade and more to. This is what the camp draft industry wants to see. And if you turned up without it, you were being punished a bit as a vendor. But I think we've seen that definitely change, and that's a good thing. People are now custom breeding horses for this, instead of treating it as a outcast for other equine sport horses that didn't make it. We're now seeing horses that are camp horses, and they're bringing many tens of thousands of dollars more than we would have seen probably a decade ago.
Speaking of that, the special caliber of horse we're seeing here now, from a judge's perspective, any runs you've seen so far that really tickled your fancy?
Well, there was, and she's an impressive mare in her own right. But Chisholm's Cash has got a 90 in the Open with Ben Hall, and look, I get to see a lot of that mare up in central and northern Queensland, and I think she's one of the best mares in the country. She's got accolades, titles that have come her way that she's definitely deserved of, and the really impressive thing about that being one of the leading runs I've seen is. And obviously has been scored accordingly by the judge, and that doesn't always have to happen that way either, but she's got a full sister in this sale, so we're here seeing one of the best open mares in the country. If you like what you see there's a 3-year-old filly going to go around here probably Saturday, I imagine, but definitely during the course of that sale. And that's what I mean about horses that have been bred to come here. She's obviously got other progeny that are very well performed in the cutting pen as well, but there's a horse that could quite well end up camp drafting on the basis of how good a base her trainers and breeders have put on her, but then how well Ben Hall can market a horse for you. And it's no secret, it's no surprise when they run 90s. He and she are a really good combination. Good horses end up under good riders, and for good reason usually.
A treat for the spectators, that's for sure.
It was, and the cattle that I've seen today have been really good, and that was just an opportunity for that. For that mare just to shine, and she didn't waste a chance, and old Fox Rider doesn't miss many chances either.
That's a good plug for him.
Yeah. That's about as good as you'll get out of me today, too. He's been cheeky. So.
Sean, you've got one classic run this afternoon.
Yes.
We're wishing you all the best for that, and for any future runs you've got throughout the week.
Yeah, hopefully it's the start of a three runs for that mare down here. So.
Absolutely. Into round 2 and a final, let's hope.
Fingers crossed. Thanks
Very
very much.
good. Thanks so much for coming, Sean, and look forward to catching up during the week.
My pleasure.